I don't know about you, but Earth is ghetto. Like, I'm not trying to come back here. I'm really trying to like get up out of here and not return like ever again. Hey, Mystics. Welcome to my channel where we talk about all things to heal, grow, and evolve. In my very first YouTube video, I wanted to talk about my own spiritual journey, how it helped me improve my self-worth, my self-love, how it helped me perceive the world as it is, and just in general, overall, how it just helped me grow as a person. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was what spirituality means to me. So in my own definition of spirituality, it means connecting back to source, connecting back to God or the universe. So it also means that having a connection with like your spirit team, having a connection with the high vibrational energies on in the higher realms and in the higher dimensions as well. Helping them guide us towards our mission, because I believe that we're all here for a certain reason. We're all here for a purpose. Our soul is here on a mission to complete. And so I think spirituality helps us connect to that purpose and remember who we are, knowing who we are, and returning to self. So that's kind of like a broad definition of what I think spirituality is. I also wanted to mention spirituality is definitely a science. I feel like science and spirituality should never have been separated. I feel like they are one and the same. They really do complement each other. It's like a synergy. I don't think spirituality is just about love and light. I don't think it's just about, oh, let's just be happy, grand rising, peace and love. Like, no, like it really gets real out here. Like, if you're really doing spiritual work, you're really about like healing your traumas, you're really about evolving and going to the next level of your elevation and evolving. It gets real. It's not just about love and light. So it gets deep, very deep. So it's not just about like crystals. It's not just about just being happy. It's not just about, oh, love, just peace and love and happiness. Like, no, there's a deep meaning and there's a science about it too. Going back to how I got here, it really transformed my life, because even since I was a kid, as soon as I was able to comprehend thoughts and words and meanings, I just knew something was off about this world. I always thought that this earth was fake that I lived in. I always thought like something in my body was telling me like this isn't real. And it was so crazy too, because I always thought like I was wearing some like invisible glasses or something. It just seemed like there was something greater out there that we're not being shown, that we're not being taught about. And my body just knew like something isn't real, like this isn't real. It really felt like I was on a stage with like the giant red curtains and I was playing some type of act. It really felt like that's how I perceived the world as a child, because it just felt like the simulation that we're in is just all a big act. Like everybody's just playing their own roles they need to fulfill. So that's what it really meant to me as a kid. And to this day, I feel like it was also really crazy because I was the only person around me who saw the world as I saw it. And so when I used to tell other people, like, this world isn't real, like, this is fake, this is fake, it was really hard to connect to other kids because they were looking at me like I'm crazy. Like, what is this girl talking about? The world is fake. What? What is she on? I even like went to ask like my mom and other people like, am I wearing glasses? Am I wearing fake glasses? Take it off. Take it off. There's something isn't real. This isn't real. So that really drove my curiosity, and it really built a lot of questions within my mind. I'm like, what is the purpose for here on this earth? Why are we here? What is our reason for being here? And that really built a curiosity within me as a kid. But also because I was such at a young age, and a lot of other people around me were not thinking that. And so I had a lot of labels of being like the weird girl, um, the shy girl, the quiet girl, the one that doesn't talk a lot, doesn't say a lot of words. Oh, you're so quiet. Oh, you don't say much. And eventually I kind of just stopped talking to other people because I just felt like nobody understood me. Nobody wanted to talk about the things I wanted to talk about. And so as a kid, I kind of just kept to myself. I kind of just kept quiet because I wanted to fit in. I wanted a sense of belonging. I wanted a community. And so eventually I kind of just stopped. Eventually that fire within me, that curiosity kind of burned down. Also, as I got older, because I was kind of being conditioned to fit into the societal norms and expectations as kids. So as I got older, I kind of, that fire, that curiosity, that questions, that I have within myself, that kind of started to go down. And a lot of it started to be suppressed, and eventually, for a time, I did forget about those things as well. So it was a combination of societal norms and me wanting to fit in with other people, other groups of people my age. And because like I never really resonated with like the typical things people my age talked about, like about drama, about gossip, celebrities, this, that, and the third. I never really cared about that. I never really wanted to discuss it. It wasn't really an interest to me. And because like a lot of people around me weren't really wanting to talk about the things I wanted to talk about, like what is the meaning of life? What are your goals in life? Deep philosophical questions, like that's something I've always had like a deep passion for, to discuss with other people. And I couldn't really find other people around that time. I couldn't find any other people who were wanting to discuss the same things I wanted to talk about. And so like nobody was wanting to hear that. They weren't for it. I was just labeled even more weirder, or even more of the strange girl who wanted to talk about the meaning of life and goals as a kid. So I've always had a lot of soul searching questions and curiosity. But like I said, like I just felt so alienated. I just felt like I was on two different wavelengths, like we're speaking foreign languages, because they just didn't understand where I was coming from at that time. So I just felt very left out. But I felt very left out, but I also wanted to fit in because I didn't match the norms. I didn't match the expectations society, school, my family, they had for me. I felt very disconnected from other people. It felt like there was a glass wall between me and the rest of the world, because I didn't see the world the same way everybody else saw it as. And at that time, I didn't know it was okay for me to stand on my own opinion. I didn't think, or I was conditioned to not believe that it was okay to be different. It was okay to have different opinions. It was okay to see the world as you see it as. Eventually, I kind of grew a fear of being judged and just being perceived. I kind of grew a fear of just being myself because of the way that people would treat me because of that. And because I was so desperate to have a friend, I was so desperate to fit in with people. I was so desperate to have a sense of belonging, a community. I always look at like the people in my school, like the popular girls, and like I just thought like I wanted to be like them. I just wanted to have somebody who just wanted to be friends with me, who just wanted to like me. But eventually, because that wasn't the case, I started to talk down on myself. I started to put a lot of words into my mind. In reality, these are the words other people have told me about myself: being the weird girl, the quiet girl, the one who doesn't talk a lot, the shy girl. I put those negative and other negative things they said about me, I internalized it as my own thoughts, and I believed it to be true at that time, even though it was not true. And so this is when it really turned into me like talking down on myself. I subconsciously was doing this without even really realizing how much I was doing it at that time. And that's really what tanked my self-worth and my self-love. And so like I was saying, at that time, when I started to talk down on myself, I started to believe the things other people told me. I started to hate the way like I was thinking. I started to hate my mind process. I started to hate even the way it looked, because it wasn't the norm you would see on like TV at that time. It wasn't the norm you would see on like the magazines defined as like beautiful. And because I was the complete opposite of that, that also really tanked my self-worth and my self-love. I used to tell myself, because I don't look like these things or what they perceive as beautiful and worthy of being loved, and then because I don't see anyone who looks like me, or because of what these standards were, the complete opposite, that means that I wasn't worthy of love. That's what I used to tell myself. All right, so we gotta fast forward to college now. This is in 2017. I was a freshman in college, and in one of my curriculum classes, the professor actually did a meditation little session before we actually started our class. And so this is when I meditated for the very first time in my life at all. I felt like I was guided to take that class as like an awakening for my spirituality. I feel like that's what really led me to the beginning of being a spiritual being, of really being in my spirituality. And so the first time meditating, oh my goodness, it felt like I was on cloud nine. When I first closed my eyes and meditated for the first time, I felt like a bright light. I closed my eyes, the back of my eyelid, there was like a bright light, a bright aura surrounding me. And then it was like my ears were ringing. I just felt like this just enlightening feeling around me. Like I felt like just a high vibration, like just a welcoming, warm aura was just around me. And it was just such a different sensation. Like I've never felt that ever in my life. And then as soon as I started meditating, that like fire that I have within myself, that fire it relighted. The fire really just kicked back. It just started back up again. All those years of like suppressing it, all those years of being curious about like the unknown, about like the world, about because I knew there was something more to this world. I knew there was something bigger out there. I knew there was a lot of answers that I had questions to, but weren't being shown. And so that curiosity spiked up again. That fire, that passion I had within me, it spiked up again. So this is the start of my like awakening and my life epiphany, pretty much. And this is also what started my spirit team, my ancestors, my angels, my spirit guides. This is when they really started to like show themselves. Because after I meditated, I felt like, okay, so she's ready now. She's ready to start her spiritual journey efficiently. She's ready to start her life purpose, her soul mission. So I saw more synchronicities. I saw angel numbers, ear ringing. So that drive in me came back again. All these questions I had. Why am I here? What is the purpose of me being here? Where did I come from? What about the people before me, my ancestors? Where did they come from? What was their story like? And at the same time, I also started my own like self-love journey. So this kind of happened simultaneously because at that point I was kind of fed up with how I saw myself. I was very fed up with like the way I thought about myself and the things I told myself because they were very low vibrational, and I knew like these aren't my thoughts, and there was just something I had to do to work on that. So I bought a journal for the first time, and then every single day I would write prompts. I make up my own prompts, or I just write how my day went, or what is my thoughts I had about myself. What was my thought processes? Where did these thoughts come from? What was I feeling at that time? So I wrote all these things down and I analyzed them, and then to really figure out the core and the origin of these thought process I had in my mind. And at that time, I was doing shadow work without even realizing it. So because I was doing shadow work, this really helped me increase my self-awareness. It helped me increase my perception of what I was experiencing, why it was happening to me, exactly like how it took an effect on me and how I could heal from it. So shadow work has really helped me really build up my perception of the world, and also build a stronger connection with like my spirit team, my spirit guides, because all the things that was happening to me in my past, I know this for a reason. This is that I was going through, especially in my past, because I was doing shadow work, it helped me realize a lot of things I went through, all of my experiences were needed in order for me to be where I am today. And because I was doing shadow work, and like I was saying, I was building up my self-awareness, I really started to realize like all these thoughts I had about myself, these were not even my own thoughts. These were the voices of other people, but I made it my own voice and I internalized it as my own self. So what spirituality has taught me within this whole like journey of self-awareness, journey of healing, journey of self-love and self-worthiness, is that I am loved. I am loved unconditionally. If I don't feel loved in the physical realm, I know that I have a whole team, a whole army of spiritual beings who love me unconditionally. I know God loves me, the universe loves me, my spirit teams, my ancestors, they all love me. And because we are a part of God, we are created in God's image, because the universe operates in the highest frequency, which is love. And because we are a part of that love, that means that in return, I love myself. Since the universe operates on love, that means that love, being loved, is my birthright. Because we are part of the universe and I'm a reflection of the universe. The universe operates on the highest vibration, which is love. That means that I love myself because the universe loves me. So spirituality also taught me that everything that I was looking for, all the questions that I had, they were always within me. I found all the answers to my questions. They were already within me. I was my own missing link. And because I already know my purpose here, because I was born with the knowledge of my purpose, my mission, I'm supposed to do on this earth, but because I've already forgotten that, because we've been conditioned. But the answers are already within me. Everything I needed was already within me. I had to learn to release the ego that was holding over my head, because it was causing a disbalance between myself, between my higher self and me in the physical realm. I had to release my ego. I had to release fears of being seen, fears of people looking at me, fears of being heard. I had fears of just taking up space in the world. And that's something that I've had to learn to release and learn to let go of. At first, I refused to even acknowledge the love and worthiness within me because I was surrounded by people who didn't acknowledge that within me. And so in return, I didn't acknowledge that within myself. And I surrounded myself with people who weren't on the same frequency as me. I was surrounded by people who didn't understand me. And because of that, I didn't feel very welcomed. I didn't feel very accepted just for being who I am without putting up a fake mask. And so I internalized all these thoughts that other people had of me just to make everyone feel comfortable. So yeah, in conclusion, this was my spiritual journey. This is just a very brief version of it, of what helped me transform my self-worth and self-love. Just knowing that I am loved unconditionally 24/7 and that I am worthy because we are born on this earth, because we exist, because we live, we are worthy. We are worthy of being loved. And that's a tough thing. Like, I really took me a while to truly understand and truly realize that within myself. So yeah, I am very excited to talk about future things on this channel, about spirituality, about the world, about how I see it as. So if you're interested in that, stick with me. Let me know how your spiritual journey transformed your life. And yeah, we'll talk more soon. Bye.